What's up, cool kids? Here we are with like half of the Valkyries authors. You guys, this much awesomeness in one place. Gonna be ridiculous. Get ready. So before we jump in, two quick things. One, this is the CKP YouTube channel. This is a special edition of Inside CKP. We are so grateful to Chris Kennedy Publishing for sponsoring the show, for publishing our anthology, for living life with us. So you can support CKP on this beautiful website. Chris also has a Patreon. You get sneak peeks and sneak reads. You get to hear authors reading their own work. It's very exciting. And also, you can like and subscribe right on this webpage. There's a button. It's somewhere. I'm sure you can find it. You can like it. You can love it. You can do all the things. So we are here to talk about the Valkyries Initiative. And I am going to have each of these lovely authors introduce themselves. And we're going to go, I think we're in the same order. I think we're in the same Brady Bunch order for everyone. So like Kacey is next, then Becca, then Melissa. Yeah. All right. So we're just going to go in that order. We're going to go across, and then we're going to go down, and we're going to go across. Just introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Kacey Ezell. That's my website, www.kaceyezell.net. And I write science fiction and fantasy and alternate history and mild sci-fi and just a bunch of stuff. And I'm super excited to have the story A Sense of Purpose in the Valkyries Initiative.
Thank you.
I'm Becca Gardner. This is my first video interview, so I'm dying inside a little bit. I write sci-fi and fantasy, usually with like a suspenseful twist. So I'm excited to join the Valkyrie crew. This has been so much fun. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Melissa Olthoff. That's my website, melissaolthoff.net. I totally copied Marisa's website if it looks familiar to you. Military sci-fi and urban fantasy and a little bit post-apocalyptic with goats. Don't ask, you'll just have to read Fallen World to find out why.
And you should.
I am so excited to be here because urban fantasy is my first and most favoriteest genre ever, and I always sneak in romance when I can, so I'm excited.
Hi, I'm Charity Ayres. I write fantasy, science fiction, mystery, romance, pretty much anything that comes up at any given time. Somebody throws a random anthology at me and I'm like, sure, why not? Can I kill somebody in it? Can I swear a little bit? All right, we're good. I'm so thrilled to be here. You just have no idea.
Hi, I'm JD Blackrose. I write urban fantasy, often with a little bit of paranormal romance. My story is a short bet, and I'm just thrilled to be here with all these amazing other authors. It's an incredible anthology.
Yeah, it really is.
Hi, I'm Joelle Presby. Usually I write science fiction or science fantasy, and I jumped on this opportunity because I love reading urban fantasy, and I wanted to see if I could write it, and it turns out that yes, I can write it. My story is The Troll Ate My Homework.
So fun.
And my website's there.
Hi, I'm Mary McKenna. That's my website. Yes, there is a dash in it. Sorry. And I write fantasy, historical, whimsical kind of thing. This is definitely off my normal beat, but I'm excited to be here.
Yes, amazing. I'm Marisa Wolf. I write science fiction, fantasy, anything I can find in between. And I edited this anthology, so I got the selfish pleasure of getting so many incredible authors, and I got to read their stories first. And also like 16 times. So they're good when I wasn't sad to read them like 16 times. So
thank you.
Biased, but true. Okay. So thank you all for joining tonight. I see there's some chatty chats happening and there's lots of woos, and I really appreciate the woo energy. So please bring it. Man, thanks. Yeah, that was a good review. I might have read that one 3 times today. It's fine. This anthology is incredible because these authors are incredible. So folks in the chat, please feel free to ask all the questions. I have some. I take notes. It's who I am as a person, but would really love to answer any questions you all have. Also, we have another one of our Valkyries authors in the chat, and here he comes to the stream. Matt Novotny. He's gone. Where'd he go?
Hey, he's here.
He's here for real.
Dude.
Hi, Matt. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I think he's muted.
Yeah, are you muted? Our token boy.
Dude.
Sorry, I had some technical difficulties on my end.
Fair. I'm excited you're here. Yay.
I think he's muted.
Oh, if somebody has YouTube open, you gotta close it or mute it. So, or we're gonna get. Fair. I'm excited you're here. Yay. Yep. I think it's you, Matt. So I'm gonna mute you for a second. Yes. So, Matt, if you can find YouTube and close it, you can do the chat on the right. Just give me a thumbs up when you're done, and I'll unmute you. And then you can return and introduce yourself. Yes.
Poor Matt.
Oh,
Not
no,
always the
sorry.
only guy.
This is how we treat men in the Valkyries. No, it's not. It's not. It's
No.
really not. Not at
I
all.
love men. I love men.
We do. We do.
I'm just gonna go on record. I love men.
Yeah.
He's super hot.
I mean, fair. Yes, I think I will say we're going to talk more about like tropes and things that we got to play with in this book. But one thing I specifically asked the authors for was to not give me strong female character. Like she doesn't either, like she can't stand dudes, or she is a dude, or she's just a piece of cardboard with no actual feelings or emotions. She's certainly not a woman. And when I say these authors all delivered well-rounded, amazing, badass chicks, they did. So start putting your questions in the chat if you've got them. Matt, you are unmuted. Who are you? Tell the people. Are you unmuted?
You can do it.
Come on, Matt.
We're pulling for you.
I feel like your internet hates
He's
you.
unmuted,
Look
but he
that up.
can't hear us.
He does not trust us anymore. You think
He's like, I'm out. No. Okay. Well, here's what you should know. Matt Novotny is amazing. He writes science fiction. He writes urban fantasy. He has never written a bad story that has been published. Not that I've seen. You can find him at Matt Novotny Writes. We will let him introduce himself with his own voice. We are not about stealing voices of people on this call. So when the technical difficulties release themselves, then we will let him chat. Great. Okay. So, Matt, can you hear us?
I can.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
Sorry about the snafu, ladies.
It was all good. It was all good. It allowed us to make all kinds of random comments. So
Yeah, we just talked about you while you were gone. It was okay.
yeah, mostly good
I
things.
could sort of see people, so I'm like, okay, well, maybe they can sort of see me.
Just pretend that we all went to the ladies' restroom without you, and you were like,
I have started drinking heavily to compensate. So
Good. That's the right call for this, I think. Matt, would you like to introduce yourself to the charmed masses?
Oh, okay. I'm Matt Novotny. I write 4HU, Salvage, and have a couple of shorts in Hit World, and have just completed a Hit World novel that's off to be reviewed.
Woo!
And this was a project that I was really excited to be a part of because there are so many kick-ass authors in here, and I just couldn't wait to dig in and see what everybody else was going to do. So,
Yes, amazing. Okay, so some of you introduced your story, and some of you didn't. So I think we should do a quick whip around of what is your story, who is your Valkyrie. Give us a name and like the elevator pitch for her. And I can go first because I just sprung that on you.
yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Matt is our token man today. We have another one in the anthology, Rob Howell. He's amazing. He's also currently at FenCon, being amazing in person with people.
It makes us like token 1 and token 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're welcome. I love it. And you guys did a great job. So Rob's story was also really fantastic, and I do y'all, this is who I'm as an editor. So I've got these note cards that I did for everybody's story as they turned them in, and I have them. So for the folks, again, because of who I am as a person, it's also how I ordered the anthology. But so I can also give little notes at the end about the folks' story who isn't on here. That's right, Chris. I appreciate a well-rounded anthology, and having been one of one or one of two women in an anthology before, you're welcome. So there. Okay, so we are going to do Who's Your Valkyrie? What's the story? We're doing great, Chris. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Beth. And a short thing about it. So my story is Dear Cynthia. My Valkyrie is Bryn. And a little thing about Bryn is she is a recruiter, damn it, not a shooter. But then she gets out in the field and things go sideways. And she writes a lot of strongly worded memos in her head. She does do that, yeah.
It's usually the only way you can write memos without getting fired sometimes.
Yeah. You type them and then you delete them.
Yeah, you delete them. And you don't type them on like an internet linked thing. Yeah.
Did you want to go in the same order, Marisa?
Yeah, let's go in the same order and then we'll flip it up next time.
Okay. All right. So my Valkyrie is Raina, and her story is called The Sense of Purpose. And Raina is mostly human. She is also on her mother's side something that is not human. She's like something very succubus-like, but we don't really have a word for it. But it allows her the ability to really see and know and feel what people genuinely desire and use that knowledge to her advantage. She also is not a shooter. She thinks guns are kind of icky. She'd rather go shopping for shoes than Glocks. And she was Bryn's best friend in college. So.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Oh, she's frozen.
Oh, no. Is she
Oh,
back?
no, she's frozen.
Yes.
Okay.
Tech is really doing us favors. Yeah.
My internet really hates me. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So my Valkyrie is Athena. She's in the story Angel Wings and Demon Bones, and she is mostly human, but her family was created for a specific purpose. So she has that family duty that she's supposed to uphold. Unfortunately, her family also kind of looks scary sometimes when they exercise their talents. So they've kind of been hunted a lot. So there aren't many Kidamonas left. And I kind of panicked, honestly, when Marisa asked me to write in Hit World, because I'm like, oh God, shooters and assassins and all this crazy stuff. And I was trying to think, how can I create a story that works with me and with this world? So I kind of put Athena in a situation where she'd have no choice but to accept a job offer from Bryn, and along with a hot shooter assassin type, because this is totally urban fantasy romance, and I regret nothing.
I love it.
Enemies to lovers is my favorite trope, so it's going to be fun.
That's awesome.
All right. I guess we're on me. I wrote Noah. She is probably one of the most self-aware characters I've ever created. She just kind of knows who she is and she's cool with it. Her ability was actually kind of forced on her. She was normal until something awful happened because she was doing awful things, and actually kind of saw it as, well, all right, I guess I deserve this. I was doing bad things, so why not? And honestly, she's got this little bit of morality that sneaks in when she's doing her thing that she otherwise feels no concern for, just getting out there and doing exactly what she thinks is the best thing to do. And she was so fun to write. And honestly, it was just because Marisa was like, hey, do you want to write this? And I was like, wait, I get to write somebody who's killing people? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
We like death and destruction. It's great.
Absolutely.
So my story is a shore bet, and I actually wrote an actual Valkyrie, and it was really lovely because Marisa said, "Hey, I said, hey, I've got this Valkyrie that I wrote in a book a long time ago, in a book called The Soul Wars, and I just want this to be like her sister. Like I want to like bring that continuity in with my other work." She was like, "Go for it. Be happy." So I did. And so this my character here is I'm waving to it because I have it on my other screen. Like you should be able to see that.
She's right there. Yeah.
You'll know what that is. Yeah. So my character is literally Valkyrie. She's sent to Earth to chase a would-be assassin. But she has a problem because she can handle Cabal. She can handle magic beautifully in Asgard, on her world. But when she comes to Earth, it's very slippery and she sort of can't grasp it. And so she has a sword and a shield and a Pegasus that turns into a 1968.5 Shelby Mustang when she hits the ground. And because clearly she had to turn into a Mustang. Because at first I was like, oh, she should turn into something sleek like a Jaguar. And then I was like, oh my God, a Jaguar? No, that's wrong. So, that's totally wrong. She has to turn into a Mustang. So, yeah, so that's what she does. And she chases this bad guy all around Ohio.
And shenanigans absolutely ensue.
Shenanigans ensue. That is true.
Yeah.
And Ohio is a great setting for a story. I absolutely.
Thank you, Joelle. Thank you, Mia. Thank you. I'm
super weird, like a little biased. I don't know.
My Valkyrie character is, in her own mind, completely human. She is a freshman at Ohio State University, and she's just trying to do the shooting thing to get by, to get the tuition, so she can get a safer, more stable job. And it's complicated. And the title of the story is "The Troll Ate My Homework."
Mm-hmm. There may or may not be trolls with Hit World. You never know. You got to read it.
Everything goes.
Everything goes.
It's so much fun.
So I wrote Owl Job, which is the story of Mal, actual last name unknown. She has two in the story, and neither is real. She is a cat burglar. And actually, she flirts with the line between cat burglar and lady thief, because why would I stick to one? And all she wants to do is do her job. And it just doesn't happen.
Things never go smoothly. There's a lot of like, I'm just here to do my job, man. Just come on. I love it. It's like women have to do that.
In the comments, yes, the Ohio State University, and I did make sure to do that in the narrative text, just so you know.
She did, and I think I ha-ha'd it when I first saw it. It was pretty great.
My story is Surprise, and my character is Gina. She's Korean bodyguard who never gets surprised. She can kind of hear thoughts, especially if they're if your intent is clear. So most people sound like static because you don't know what the shit you're doing. But like assassins, she can hear. So she's a very good bodyguard. And it's, this story is the first time she's been surprised in her whole life. And that's sort of how the story goes.
Pretty good. Another chick just trying to do her job, man. So good. All right, Matt, well, we got you.
I think I have it fixed now. My Valkyrie is Lyudmila Pavlichenko. So the story is Glass Houses, and Lyudmila is based off of a historical figure that was called Lady Death, and she's the most successful female sniper in history. She died and was brought back by a necromancer in an earlier story that was in the last Hit World anthology, and she was one of the villains in that story. In this story, she's got a redemption arc. So now that she's been brought back and the figures in the shadows have been exposed, she's trying to figure out where she belongs in the new world, because she's a soul that got brought back in a new body. So this is really kind of her story about figuring out where she is and what she's going to be, but she really only has the one skill set. So, and since she was involved with some other characters that had exposure to LEI and Hit World, that's just where she's landed. So now she's trying to figure out what she's going to be in this new life that she's got.
Nice. We do have a lot of so in the stories there are a lot of characters at turning points, which is always so interesting, especially in a short story. Like a short story doesn't have to tell you all the things; it's not a novel, but it is this little microcosm of a journey of a character. And a lot of these folks, thanks, Carrie. A lot of these folks really capitalized on that and gave us like this change moment for their character. Do you all? There are no questions, guys. You're being funny, but I need some questions in here. I did really like this one. If your memo starts with "Listen here, fucktards," you probably shouldn't send it. I'm just saying, Nick, I feel like you and Bryn would really get along. So I feel like you would write very similar memos. And
I feel like I would send that memo to Nick.
Right? I feel like you might have.
Nick. Nick, by the way, is a co-writer in Salvage, so I have absolutely sent him something like that before.
He's a very talented author in the Salvage universe. Yeah.
I honestly feel like that's the great title of a story right there. Listen here, fucktards.
My next anthology, ladies.
Yeah, there you go.
There will hopefully be a second anthology. So also, Nick would like Matt to say Mila's name again, if you would, Matt.
Lyudmila Pavlichenko.
Mila.
Mila.
She uses
I like her.
Yeah.
She is really great. Your memos would be amazing, Nick, for sure. So we also got this. Where is Jordan Como? Such a great question. This is also, for the record, producer Jeremy answering. I am not also in the chat. Sorry, guys. All of these things will be out here. So that's not me. That's Jeremy pretending to be me, question mark. Not sure what that's about. But so we've got another. This is a 15 author, 15 story anthology. So these fabulous people are here. And we've got other fabulous people, and I do have note cards. I can tell you about their stories, but also you should buy the anthology and read it, and read about it. Jordan's story, Avoiding the Noise, is frickin' fantastic. We've also got some great votes for Moonglow, the Mustang, who is frickin' amazing.
I don't know if you noticed, but on the reviews that are up, we had like 5 reviews. 2 people mentioned they liked the Pegasus who turned into the car. Yes. So I was like, yes! Oh, I was so excited by that. It literally made my day.
That's awesome. Oh, and y'all, it is JD's birthday today.
Yes.
So
Happy birthday!
Book birthday and real birthday, all on the same day.
Okay, so I have a challenge for everyone in the chat and everyone watching this. We need to get JD an orange tag for her birthday.
Yes.
What?
A bestseller.
A bestseller tag on Amazon.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh,
Share the anthology with all your friends. Let's
so good.
For her birthday.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
It's my mom's birthday too, so I feel like this would be a great birthday present for her.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Mia. And Darren Kennedy, my good friend Darren, just joined our chat, so that's so nice. Hi, Darren.
That's awesome. I met Darren at Dragon Con just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
so exciting. We were on panels together. Okay, so Chris asked who's the first to write a full-length story. So I have one in my inbox. So technically, that race has been raced. Melissa was like, "Surprise! I wrote this. Here you go."
Oh, is it you? You? I thought Matt said he had one.
Pointing. I finished mine in April. I win.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, mine has some of the same characters, but it's not a Valkyrie story. The main character is Solomon, who is the protagonist.
Yours went to Bill, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
So yours went to Bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
It hasn't gone to Bill yet. It's with the editor.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So I'm getting a beta read, and then if there are any problems, I'll fix those, and then I'll send it to Bill for rewrites.
Wise,
Nice.
very wise.
But what we should do, and we'll get to this question in a second, Todd, that's an excellent question. Before we get to that, related to the boss's question, no spoilers, but what could be next for your Valkyrie? because there will be multiple full-length stories coming out of this storyline. So what could be next for your girl?
Where do you want to start?
Share. I mean, we can also like a little bit popcorn right now, but let's start. We got Matt, so let's start at the end, and we're going to come backwards this time. So Matt, Becca, Mary, Joelle, Judy.
I'm sorry, I just have to say that was a very teachery thing. We can popcorn this.
I can't help it, man. It was a lot of years. It's baked in.
That's awesome.
What's going to be next for Milla? She is learning a lot more about the magical side of her history. So being a displaced soul in a new body, there are certain complications that come with that. And you see a little bit of that in the book. And then when it's her turn for her story, then that's really going to come out. And she'll have to explore that a little bit more and figure out how she's going to overcome the obstacles without spoilers that are in the way.
Nice.
For my character, I think I don't want to spoil anything, but she's got a couple surprises in her life, and she's got to figure out how to deal with those.
I refuse to tell.
So, big conflict. Yeah, good. She'll have a lot of existential crises to work through in the next story.
I like it.
So what's next for Mel? I have aspirations for a really big heist. I mean, like Danny Ocean kind of heist ticking around in the back of my brain. But in the meantime, we're going to find out a bit more about her, the character that didn't become my Valkyrie, who is now going to be a supporting character in Mal's story, and exactly what goes on with Hetty. And if you've read the story, you know who that is, but I'm not going to say anything more.
And if not, you should read it because delight.
My freshman at The Ohio State University will have more interactions with her frenemy. Who, nope, I can't say that.
Yep. But it would be good. Her frenemy is a delight. It's good.
I don't know exactly what is up for Mist, but she does go back to Asgard at the end of the story, so she's clearly going to have to come back to Earth now, and hijinks will then again have to ensue. I just don't know what, but she'll bring her horse, so that's the only thing I can really promise.
Honestly, Noah's going to have to kind of pay for some of the abilities that she's walked away with. So she's going to have to deal with some repercussions for what she's been doing, kind of free of everything, free of anyone stopping her, free of anyone trying to direct her. So there's going to be a little bit of ugly that she has to deal with.
So this is along the lines of no spoilers. I actually have 3 books already planned out and 1 written. So I dealt with the stress of today by throwing down 1,000 words of notes for a final battle in the 3rd book. So I know where I'm going at least. But in Athena's full-length novel, she really has to deal with the consequences of her actions from the short story. And she has to learn to work with her shooter partner, Sebastian. And by the way, Marisa, those memos that you put in are fantastic.
They were the best.
Will hate it. And Athena hates it. So I had a lot of fun with it. Athena has to face down the ancestral enemy that she was created to fight, along with some deadly enemies that don't really understand what she is or what she's doing and are unintentionally putting the whole world in deadly danger. So it's a lot of fun. Nick liked it. I saw his comment.
Nice. It's got good taste. It's all right.
He does.
Raina has a shitty mom. And so she is going to have to deal with her shitty narcissistic mom, who is not human. And yeah, so I mean, this story it's called A Sense of Purpose because that's what she gains in this story. And so what's next for her is exploring that purpose, exploring the idea that she, just because she's her mother's daughter doesn't mean that she also is a shitty, not quite human being.
Yes. So thank you, Yvonne. I tied these stories together with a device that I stole the term from. I think Kacey gave it to me, the Memorandum for Record. So the new director of the Valkyries initiative has a very quick evaluation of each Valkyrie after her story. And I cracked myself up writing them. I'm not going to lie to you.
Those are honestly, I think, the best part of the whole book. Are those?
It was very good interstitial tissue.
It was so good for every story, every single story I went through and was like looking at those, and I was like, "This is the best. This was so fun."
Thank you. Thanks. So when you read those memorandums, I think you'll understand what is next for Bryn, because that's what's next for Bryn. Okay, so Jeremy really wants us to answer this question. So what is the most ass-kicking moment in your short story? It is a fantastic question, Todd. So we're going to start with Joelle Presby because she just raised her hand. And we can jump around, but just kind of hop in. There's that pause, so just go. Go ahead, Joelle.
It's when my character figures out why she's been smelling Doritos.
Nice.
Nice. Well done.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. No, that's great.
I want to throw mine in there. I'm just going to say rage pigeons because I cracked myself up for that with that phrase for like, I don't know, a good half hour. And I started calling random things rage pigeons for a while. It was so fun.
Everybody's going to have to buy the book and start reading. They're not going
You really need to see these things happen.
Yeah.
I'll say so I decided because I sent my Valkyrie all over the state. So she ends up in a place in Lake Erie called Put-in Bay, which is a real place. And there's a real barge that's sort of just sort of sits there now that you can rent out. And one of the things, it's like the forecastle deck is you can live in it. It's been renovated. You can see pictures online. And I was totally excited by the fact that in real life, that barge was towed in by a ship called Thor 101. And I just was like, I have to put that in. That's going to be in there. That has to be in. And a big battle, happens there. But if I may, my favorite thing though is that my character sort of hears some like the way people think things on Earth, and she takes them literally. So she's given a little bit of money, and she's told don't spend it all in one place. So she takes that literally, don't spend it all in one place. So she makes sure to follow the rules and not spend the $30 all in one place. And I don't know why that just made me laugh really hard, but.
It was one of my favorite things. Total.
Yeah.
I laughed. Okay, yeah. She's like, I followed the rules. I did. I engaged in your.
Yeah.
It's really
so my character's ass kicking is more in terms of manipulating people and getting them to do what she wants to do. But my favorite passage was this one, and Melissa's gonna laugh. Raina was relatively certain Bryn never went anywhere unarmed, but for the life of her, she couldn't imagine where she'd stashed anything bulkier than a G-string under that dress.
Y'all understand. I am eating lunch, okay? I am in my day job. I am eating lunch, and I read that, and I spat my water out across the table. I died. I died.
So yeah,
I messaged Kacey, and I'm like, I'm classy.
So Raina, that's badass.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to lose Melissa for a second while she giggles. So Mary, Becca, Matt, or she's fine.
Mal doesn't do a lot of ass kicking. Actually, her entire goal in life is to never be seen by anybody. But it's heady. the best moment in that whole story is Hetty.
I love
It's
that.
pretty good.
Yeah, I do love Hetty. Nice. Okay, we're down to 3, y'all. Melissa, Becca.
Okay. So Athena has like a couple of really great ass kicking moments. Thanks.
Well timed.
Thanks, Nick.
That's awesome.
I think though my favorite ass kicking moment is when she, like, no kidding, just busts through Sebastian, that's the shooter, busts through his skylight and tackles his naked ass to the floor for reasons, and it just worked out wonderfully.
So
I cackled when I wrote that.
Reasons that he looks like Dean Winchester. It's fine.
Totally valid reasons.
Great reason. That's not why guys read the story. All right, Becca, then Matt, then me. We got this.
Sorry.
I don't know if it's the best ass kicking because she does a bunch of ass kicking, but it's my favorite when she figures out that her client, isn't protecting his family, and she has this like love for the daughter, and she just like pivots from like protecting the client who's an asshole to protecting the daughter, and I just love that. So that's my favorite ass kicking moment.
That was a good moment. Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Milla's ass kicking moment has to be the battle with the Mavka. She and Ivanova are going to town, and she figures out that bullets aren't doing what they ought to be doing, and she picks up a sword, and then things get interesting.
Dun dun dun! I love it. I love it.
You know, she also got some clothes from a very interesting tailor, Matt, that I totally approved of.
No capes.
That's pretty great.
That's good.
Great scene. I think Bryn's, for me, like my favorite thing about, so Bryn has 3 memos in the course of her story, and the sign off changes progressively. And the third one, when I wrote it, I was like, yeah, that's good. So I very much enjoyed that for her. It's character development. It's fine. Yes. So this question, will all 15 Valkyries meet in the books eventually? Maybe not all 15. But so one of the things that I will be working on over the next couple of weeks with the fabulous Chris Kennedy and these fabulous authors is I've got kind of a frame storyline in my head, but the frame has lots of big holes, and those big holes are insert Valkyrie. Like, what will the Valkyrie do here? And so it is like, who's up for writing novels? What are the timelines we're going to work on? But we're going to do basically seasons. So like a season 1 to address a big threat that the Valkyries team is being put together to do. And that will actually kick off with the Spider that I am writing with Bill Webb, William Allen Webb, who is one of the 2 co-creators of this universe, including the fabulous Larry Hoy, who is the other one. Thank you, Larry, for coming tonight and for letting us play in your universe, which we love. So the Spider will kick off the organization that the Valkyries Initiative is. I mean, they have existed before. You've seen them in the Valkyries Initiative, and in the Spider, it comes a little more clear because one of the viewpoint characters is the head of the Spider. So you'll see a little more. And so then there are going to be Valkyrie novels, and so likely it'll be like maybe 1 at a time or maybe 2 at a time. And then I just need to figure out the logistics for how to bring folks together, because these characters belong to these authors in a really exciting way. So I'm not going to steal them, but we are going to find ways to get some group action together is the plan. So we're excited for that.
That's what they said.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, good times, guys. I enjoy, so Joelle's awesome significant other is here. Hi, Andy. And agreed. Yes. Yay for memos. Memos are delightful. So those are great.
Yours are.
Not real memos. Real memos are trash. But passive aggressive memos are pretty fun. So
Valid.
I believe at one point Bryn tells her boss's boss, "Fuck your face." So it's pretty spot on for the memos that we would like to write sometimes that she gets to write. And yeah, the takeaway is what Todd said right before that,
You're
which was,
welcome.
I do like me some ass kicking women. All right, Jeremy, I'm sorry. I'll stop clicking on things. Yeah, it's a pretty good quote. Reasons. So, do we have any other questions? Oh, okay. Let's stop. The Comos have shown up tonight, you guys, and I love them. Hi, Lynn. Tell your sister to get on video. We love her.
There's Carrie Como has a question.
Yes, tell us.
Right there.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, interesting. I don't know. Anyone? Mine aren't really, but
I'm pretty sure there's a blurb in the beginning of every book where, for legal reasons,
no.
any of these characters allegedly.
I will say that while the characters in my story are not based on anyone I know, the relationship between the characters is 100% inspired by my friendship with that lady right there. So, because I adore her. And if she was a shooter and I was a fundraising executive who had succubus powers, I would totally go along with everything that she had to do.
You'd probably be dragging me along too, actually, in that situation.
and true to type, you'd be like, no one can see me doing this, right?
That is probably the only way Mal resembles me at all, which is don't ever let anybody see me do anything.
See, I feel like we just need to go back to if we told you that, we'd have to kill you. So, you know.
And we don't want to kill Carrie. We love her. So, yeah, she's pretty great. So the answer is no.
My story's got a pretty strong aspect of wish fulfillment and the character's mother. That if I had the powers to do what that character's mother can do, you bet I would be doing that absolutely for my children, and I think any mom would.
Yeah. The way it plays out, if you have not read The Troll Ate My Homework, there is a glitter incident that everyone needs to read. It was so delightful. Like, yeah. Every time I got to this part of the anthology, I was like, oh, I'm going to read about it again.
When I was workshopping this with my Cleveland area writers group, that was the first time I found out that other people are not, that people who did not go to a service academy like West Point or the Naval Academy or Air Force, people don't know about glitter bombs and have never created a glitter bomb and are unaware of all the details related to a glitter bomb. And I thought, surely this is just part of being an American, you know about glitter bombs.
See, I didn't go to any of those places, and I knew exactly what it was. I knew exactly what it was, and I think it has to do with having children. Like we literally have had multiple discussions about, if there's glitter on that, you're not getting in my car. Like, you have glitter anywhere near you, do not get in my car. You're walking home.
Guys, for
because
like 2 years,
it's impossible to get rid of, which is the point.
For like 2 years, my husband had my oldest convinced that he was allergic to glitter. So she was like, oh, I really like that shirt, but I can't wear it because Dad's allergic to glitter.
Glitter is not allowed in my
art projects when they come in.
Yes.
If they have glitter, they get confiscated immediately. No, you can't show them. No, you can't hang them up on the fridge.
Let me take a picture of it real quick.
Yeah.
It's craft that. Now imagine that you've got like a water balloon and you filled it with glitter and you put it in a device that is a little bit explosive. Like the lowest kind of little cherry bomb explosive that you could get from the fireworks shop, and then you toss it into somebody's room. And so you have all that, and you have to have extra fine, because if you get too high of a grittiness, you can cause eye problems, and you only want to totally destroy everything they have. You don't want to damage their body.
Right.
Glitter Allergy is my next band name.
Glitter Allergy.
It's pretty great. I love it. So I mean, they call it craft herpes for a reason, right? Like,
yes.
Once you get it, you have it forever.
My students know to threaten me with glitter.
Yeah, she teaches high school, so they're real smart about that. Yeah. Todd has another great question for us. So on a scale of 1 to 10, How much are you, the author, like your main character in the story? Tricksy question, Todd. Tricksy.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah.
I don't own any Louboutins, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm totally her. I go out and kill people on a regular basis. Just don't tell anyone.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
sorry, Agent Johnson.
Sorry, Johnson.
I find that a lot of my urban fantasy characters like have like a little grain of me in there somewhere, but they're like infinitely cooler, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like you said, Joelle, like this wish fulfillment. They're like if I was just so much cooler than I am in real, like for real, and I could like use a sword and a shield and like ride a horse that flies in the air and like use magic, like then that's me. But there's since none of that is true, I think she has. I find, and this is more of a serious answer, I find that this character, as well as other urban fantasy characters that I've written, the sort of feelings of morality and right or wrong, that is me. Right. That part where it's like, this is wrong or this is the right way to do it or whatever. Or I'm not going to cross that line. That tends to be more from me. But like in terms of their abilities and like their ability to, just have the best line at the exact right moment. No, that's just, this is why we call it fiction.
If you had script immunity, a couple months to revise and have a time machine to fix it, you can do it.
And a magic horse.
Yeah, for sure.
And a really nice car.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. I feel like Bryn is coordinated, so already ahead of me. I feel like in terms of her dismissiveness of authority, we've got that in common, and the need to say the thing, like when she is uncomfortable, she makes a snarky comment. I don't know where that comes from, but otherwise, that's definitely
that's not you.
Yeah, that's not what I do. She is more clever though, because I have time to edit hers, so my stuff isn't always as clever. Sometimes it's just mean. But that's about it. That's all I have in common with Bryn. So like a 2, I guess.
I think that there are times that I would like to be as manipulative as Raina is, but I don't have the ability to genuinely do what people want like Raina does. So I can't be. And I don't know what that says about me as a person, but there you have it.
You're not half a succubus. Yeah.
I am not half a succubus.
For mine, I would say my parents are listening, by the way. So, Dad, if anybody ever like assassinated you, I would totally go on a revenge spree just for you. So, nice. I feel like I'm maybe like an 8 out of 10 as far as like, anger control issues and all that stuff.
And also, if you had to partner up with Dean Winchester,
I mean, I would make
tackle
that
for reasons.
I would
tackle for reasons.
Respectfully.
Sometimes you have to do the hard things, so to speak.
That's what she said.
And here we go. Late night Valkyries, y'all.
Cannot help myself.
Also,
but on the slightly more serious side, I would say that Athena is very much driven to do the right thing, regardless of cost. And I'm very much that way too, as far as like if there's something like a choice between right and wrong, I'm gonna try and do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, like JD said about that morality piece for sure. Yeah. Some of the way it expresses, maybe less so. Exactly. All right. Anyone else want to go on the record comparing themselves to their character?
Well,
come on, Matt.
Yeah, physically not at all. Although as I get older, the breasts are becoming a possibility.
Fair.
What's Ross is very helpful. Nice support.
That's right. They call it a bro for us.
That's a bro, yeah. Hands here.
I like the
almost spit soda all over my computer. Thanks, Matt.
That's 2 today.
recommends it.
But to be more serious, like everybody else has, I think I have some similarities with Mila in the way she processes trauma. She's been through her a horrific thing, and she just is kind of lost. And I think everybody at some point in their life goes through that sense of not knowing where they belong or what they need to do, and they have to kind of find their way through that. So I think there are some similarities there, at least from my history, that got put into the character. I think Mila has a lot better toys than I have, and that makes me jealous. But
that sword is pretty sweet.
Yeah. So similarities, say maybe 3 for 10, but they're definitely there.
Nice. Becca, Joelle.
All right. So not the Valkyrie, but the Valkyrie's evil frenemy. I feel like I'm 11 out of 10 for her. What she knows and her reactions to it, that is absolutely what I would have done. And in some ways, the Valkyrie is lucky that it wasn't actually me, because she might have had a harder time with it.
I'd say maybe 7 out of 10 for mine, just because we're both paladins. Like, I'm very lawful good paladin kind of person, and she's a bodyguard, so I feel like we align pretty nice. She just has skills to actually keep people safe, and I just have a lot of talk.
The moral orientation. Yeah. I love it. I really like this question of Nick's, so I think we can do like 2 more questions. So we've got, for what reason would your character turn down a contract? And just in the interest of ease, let's go Kacey to JD and then Becca to Joelle.
So Raina would turn down a contract or a job if it made her feel like she was becoming her mother. Or at this point, at the end of the story, if it felt disloyal to Bryn, because Bryn has showed her a great deal of loyalty, and that means a lot to Raina. So
Athena would absolutely turn down a contract if it had anything to do with an innocent at all, especially with her recent experience with the trauma that shooters can cause and the mayhem that kind of world creates.
Charity, what you got? Yeah, there you
go. I don't think right now Noah would turn down anything. She hasn't really hit that point of seeing where she needs to stop. I don't think she's come to the realization of where her stopping point is. So I think pretty much anything they throw at her, she's going to be like, all right, is it a monster? Cool, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, Mist is an actual Valkyrie, so she's going to be guided by that like higher purpose, right? So she's just not going to take a contract because somebody paid money to take out their boss, like she's just not going to do that. And if she thought for any reason that it would hurt a child, she would go out of her way to do the opposite. So yeah, so I mean, she's got that like strong moral code that you hunt those who deserve it, who really need it and need to be put down. But other than that, she's just not going to kill just for the sake of killing.
Yeah, I think my character is similar to JD's. Definitely, she's in the business of taking out selfish assholes. So anything outside of that is probably not her thing.
Makes sense.
I don't know. I think Mila hasn't really gotten into LEI all that much yet, so she doesn't have the background for what she's going to be asked to do. I think from a standpoint of if it was something that supported tyranny just because of her historical background, she's not big on governments and powerful people exercising power just for the sake of doing that. That would cause a problem. And I also think that for her, because she's made some pretty intense bonds with the people that went through the experience of the last two stories with her. I think anything involving those people would be very difficult decisions for her.
This is kind of a hard question to answer for Mal, because first of all, she's not a shooter. She will, and actually she holds LEI in contempt. Not that that comes up in the story. But she is professionally hired to steal stuff from other people, and she doesn't actually care that that's what she does. So there is no contract she would take that would involve hurting someone. She doesn't do that. When it comes to stealing, yeah, she'll steal just about anything. But she doesn't steal from individuals who are like good people. That's kind of one of the things that comes up in the story is honest, innocent people who love their stuff don't get it stolen. Assholes with lots of money get their stuff stolen.
Little Robin Hood action. I like it.
Yeah, kind of.
I love how all of you have all these deep moral reasons, but Phoebe's very naive and she trusts her dispatcher. So the only reason she's going to turn down a job is if it conflicts with classes.
Right.
That's valid too.
That's the best reason of all.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. She's a scholarship kid, so she's gotta
Can't
keep
screw around with that.
That's
yeah,
right.
no.
That's real. Bryn tells herself that she is a consummate professional, and so therefore she wouldn't turn down a contract. However, her full-length novel will be very clear that there are things that are beyond her pale, and she hasn't really had to learn that because she's been in recruitment. And there's nobody she won't recruit to LEI, and I think she's going to realize that might not have been the right call because it's not. So here we go. Okay, we've got two really good questions. We're also at close to time. So one, this is just like a pop-up because this is a very good, thoughtful question. So if you've got something, go ahead and share, but everyone doesn't have to. Is there a line or a phrase that you wrote or that you read in someone else's story that feels like a good life motto?
That's tough.
Louboutins are always a good idea. Gravel is a bad idea.
It's a good line.
That's a great one. It's a good motto. Also, hi, listeners. I'm so glad you're here. Nice. I'm going to go, the one that comes to mind for Bryn is just please send flamethrowers. And, there's very few times that life wouldn't be better if I had a flamethrower. I think. Any other mottos? No.
Onward Buell. Thanks, Nick. Onward Buell is not a motto, but it is something that a certain sidekick animal character says to Athena quite a bit in the novel.
It's pretty great, you guys. It's pretty great. Also, we got a sneak peek, or a sneak, whatever. We got a guest appearance. Mel Todd is another one of our awesome authors. Hi, Mel. Hi, Mel. She is recovering, so not on video, but we love her, and her story Collateral is freaking phenomenal. Collateral hates LEI. So I imagine, I would love to hear, Mel, what would make Collateral turn down a contract, but I feel like if it would really help LEI and really hurt somebody else, then she'd be like, fuck you, LEI. So, and hi to Jordan. So good. We got two sneak peek authors. Yay. Hello. So good. And agreed. The plague is stupid and we hate it, but we love you, Mel. And Mel also, Collateral would not create orphans. So, which if you read that story, that will make sense. Okay. So last question. Oh wait, this is Jordan from Lane's account. Hi, Jordan. Sorry, I didn't get it. I'm not smart. It's 10 o'clock at night. Jordan's amazing story, Void in the Noise. Chloe also is not. So a thing that is really cool, I think, about this anthology is you've got a range of characters who have a range of involvement with LEI or lack thereof, which is good because LEI is a legal assassin organization with potentially a demon at the heart of it. So,
details.
It's a complicated situation. It's not just like, yay, assassin's good. Things happen. There are consequences, and it's a really fun thing that plays out. in the stories from Hit World and for Valkyries. So good. Okay, so last question, because it is JD's birthday. We got to let her get out to her Friday night and live her life. Yeah, wild times.
That's right.
It's a perfect birthday.
I am so past that age of wild time. Like, this is it. It's 10 p.m., man. This is like
fade.
I'm gonna go, fading. Gonna, read a book and go to bed.
I love it. That is good, I think, for everybody, and everyone should read Valkyrie's Initiative if they haven't already. Last question. That's right. Last question, and we'll start with Kacey again because she's right next to me and it's nice and easy. Where can people either find you, see you, or what should they read of yours besides this amazingness?
So you can find me at www.kaceyezell.net. You can also find me here on YouTube on my very own personal channel called Kacey Ezell Writer Life, which is about my writer life. Things of mine that you should read. You should definitely read my story in Valkyries Initiative after you've read all the stories that come before it, which is all of them. So you're welcome. And then you should also probably read my Psyche of War series, which starts with Minds of Men, which is about, the series is about psychic women at war. The first book is Minds of Men. It's set in World War II with psychic women flying on B-17s in over occupied Europe, and things happen. So yeah, that's my finished trilogy. You should definitely check that out. It would make me really happy if you did. And I've got a bunch of other stuff. So check my website. You can find out, including bonus points if you find the one that came out last week.
No Game for Nights. I'll help you cheat.
Oh, you ruined it.
It's really good. I'm gonna help you cheat. I'm here for you. Go read it. It's really good. Also, Factory Con.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Sorry. In-person appearances. I'll be at Factory Con in October, and I will be at 20 Books to 50K in November, and I will be a special guest at Mars Con in January. All of this is pending approval by my new job. But it's probably going to happen. So.
All right, Melissa.
I hope so. I'm really looking forward to seeing you at Factory Con. So you promised me like our kids could form a child gang and roam the countryside while we work.
Well, she'll be there. I just might have to. I'm looking forward to this. So you can find me at www.melissaolthoff.net. Things that you should look for from me. I just put out my first novel back in February, Sunrise Over Chippo. I am the Salvage Bunny. Apparently, if you nickname one of your characters Bunny, your friends are going to decide that's your name too now. So I'm the Salvage Bunny. I'm working on Salvage Bunny 2. That's not the actual title, but we're over 100,000 words, so it's going to be a long one. And I'm also co-writing a trilogy in the Salvage title universe with Nick Steverson, who has been being awesome in the chat tonight. So we're on book 2 of that trilogy already. And that's honestly, it's about it. Factory Con is it for me for this year, but next year I'll be at Superstars. I might be at Fantasy, and I will absolutely be at Liberty Con.
Nice. It's a good streak.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me every once. I'm trying to figure out the TikTok thing. I'm still not sure about that. That's a whole lot of me talking at a camera that I'm just, no. Definitely pick up a copy of Madcap. It's probably my favorite character that I've written. It's Kacey's fault. So yeah, it's a great character. She's so fabulous and just fun. Or Loki Bound. Those are my 2 big ones. I have 4 other novels out there floating around. I have so many more anthologies coming up through Three Ravens Publishing. So you've got to kind of keep your eye out for that. There's going to be some really, really interesting world building going on in there. And I am so excited about it.
Okay, so let me think. Appearances for the rest of this year, I'm going to be at Multiverse, which is in Atlanta in October. And then I will be at GalaxyCon Columbus in Ohio in December. And then after that, I may not be anywhere because I'm getting my foot operated on. So that's like all sort of, we don't know. But you can find anything about me at slipperywords.com. And if you subscribe to the e-newsletter, I'm going to have 2 really fun interviews. At DragonCon, I interviewed Jonathan Mayberry and I interviewed Patricia Briggs. And so those are going to be both coming out, and they were wonderful. In terms of books that you might want to read, well, if you like Valkyries and Flying Horses, you should read The Soul Wars. If you like more comedy, you could read The Devil's Been Busy, which is my Monster Hunter mom character. And if you really like comedy and a few off-color jokes, you should read A Wrinkle and Crime, which is my zombie cosmetologist.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's go, Joelle, and then over.
All right. So let's see. Appearances coming up in November. I'm going to Steading Days in Greenville, a very TRNM, Royal Manticore and Navy focused event, and ChambanaCon in Normal, Illinois, also in November. And then MarCon Columbus, Memorial Day weekend, and LibertyCon. And coming up, see if I can make this show up. Launcher from Bain Books coming out November, and I'm starting to get early reviews for it. Very excited. And if anybody would like to make a road trip to Cleveland, Max Backs, November 12th, I'm having a book launch party. If that's a little too far for you, but you still want a signed hard copy, you can go to Max Backs and pre-order. And well, Suzanne will let me know if there's too many, but I'm going to cover shipping for some of you. So order soon if you want to have it mailed to you. And
That's awesome.
Until I tell people that I've hit the max, you can still get your book mailed to you.
That's awesome.
And JoellePresby.com, you can sign up for my newsletter to find out what else is going on. David Weber and I owe you guys another multiverse book we're trying to get finished and turned in this year. MarCon Columbus, David Weber is going to be the guest of honor there. So if you come see me, you can also see my co-writer.
And you can also see Joelle and me on the Lore and Valor podcast here on YouTube.
Yes.
Too. If you just search Lore and Valor, it's author Justin Watson's podcast, where he has friends on to talk about movies and books and shows. And we talk about Arcane because we're lucky.
Nice.
I guess it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
I have no appearances until my children get old enough that I can leave them home. So like another 10 years.
Right.
Sorry. If you want to see me, you have to like come to Annapolis and like we'll sit somewhere and it won't be very exciting. You can find me at my website, mary-mckenna.com. On social media, the only place I'm really active is Twitter, where I'm sorry to say you may have to listen to F1 or college football because those are my sports of choice.
She's not sorry. She's not.
No, I'm really not sorry. I'm really not sorry. Wait until I start ranting about the F1 driver changes because I'm so angry about some of them. You won't even believe it. In terms of what to read, my first novel is a historical fantasy. I am very proud of it. I am working on the sequel right now and hope to have it done by Christmas. Yay! Otherwise, I have a ton of Christmas stories in Pulp House and in a collection of mine. I write Christmas stories when I'm stressed. So there's a whole bunch of them, and they are all fantasy of a wide variety of types. So,
Awesome.
Matt, you're up.
Okay. Really, the only web presence I have is on your screen now. So it's facebook.com, Matt Novotny Writes. I try and keep the posts on that page somewhat book related. I tend to aim towards really blue humor. So if you're not easily offended and you like the real me, my personal page is also open. I don't apologize for anything I do there. So as far as books that you might want to look for from me, A Nest of Stars was my very first book in the Salvage universe, and it's, I think, number 12 in the Coalition series, but it is a new entry point into salvage. You should read, of course, everything that came before and everything that comes after, because Salvage Universe is awesome. But Nest of Stars was my baby, and I love those characters. And there's going to be a book 2 and hopefully book 3 in that series. So those are coming. Other stuff in the 4HU, there's a short online called Gumbo, which was my first published story ever, and the first appearance of the Raging Cajuns mercenary outfit. They have a follow-up in a novel I co-wrote with Mark Stallings called Prodigal Son. And this doesn't involve the Cajuns, but also in the 4HU, I co-wrote a novel with Jason Cordova called The Executioners, which it was a lot of fun. And I've been particularly blessed with my co-authors in the projects that I've worked on. So those are the things I'd like to put out there.
You're muted, Becca.
Oh, Becca, come back.
I totally am. BeccaLeeG.com. I'm also at BeccaLeeG on almost every social media. So it's easy and simple, but I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook. So find me there. As far as things to read, I have a sci-fi horror novella with a kick-ass girl in it that you might love. If Lieutenant Ripley and Han Solo had a daughter who grew up to fight demons, this would be that story. So it's called Mindstorm, and that would be a great place to start. I'm also working in the Eldris Legacy world, so I got stuff like that coming next year. And if you want to prep hard for that, go read some of Todd Vonnestock's Kevin the Unkillable and World of the Dark, because I'm in Noxanon and it's the best. So go read that too. As far as personal appearances, I am going to be at FanX Salt Lake Comic Con next week, and I'll also be at Factory Con and Superstars after that. So that's where you can see me in person.
That's awesome. I'm MarisaWolf.com or MarisaWolf.net. I go both ways. And you can see me at Factory Con, MarsCon, a couple of other places next year, but those are the 2 coming up. If you want a military sci-fi book that spans 50 years and documents the life of a gentleman as he goes from restaurant owner to mercenary to bar owner spy, The Lion's Pride came out a couple of weeks ago. You can pick that up now. Next week, you can also pick up World Enders, which is another 4HU book and super fun. Or, right now, you could pick up the Valkyries initiative and make sure that we can keep writing these stories and get JD a birthday tag and Melissa's mom a birthday tag. I'm just saying, be good, people. Put good into the world, and good will come back to you. So you all are rock stars. I appreciate you coming. Next, for the Inside CKP channel, there are a couple things. Next week, you'll get to spend time with Fred Hughes, and the show will return to its regularly scheduled host, Jeremy, who is slightly more organized. It's fine. And you'll get to learn more about Fred, who is new to CKP, but not new to authoring. I met him just a few weeks ago at Dragon Con for the first time. Also, it's also where I met Joelle in person for the first time. It's very, very exciting. It was in a bathroom, as you do. I was just like, oh my God, are you Joelle? And it was delightful. Sorry, are you JD? She was like, yeah.
Yeah, so just for people to understand, my name is also Joelle. So we have 2 Joelles in this, which is,
We're working to take over the universe soon.
That's
Everybody
right.
is going to change their names.
Yes.
One Joelle at a time.
We are Joelle.
Yeah, and it's true. Marisa and I heard her speaking. We were in the bathroom. Everyone was masked, and I heard her speak, and I recognized her from her voice. So,
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
very excited. So catch the show with Fred Hughes and Jeremy next week. Also, there are lots of channels that we love. Oh, there he is. Look at Fred. He's a delight. So you can catch that next the 21st, whatever day that is. I think it's a Wednesday. Words. You can also pick up our backlist. Go watch other videos. Why are you giggling? Because I forgot how it works.
Andy's comment, I am Andy of Joelle.
That's very boring. I like it a lot. That's good. Thank you, Andy. A delight. It's a very sciencey. Good. They're good. They're a good pair to chat with. They're delights also. So I don't know. Thanks for coming on the channel. You guys should like and subscribe them. You can also see channels that we link to. Kacey mentioned hers. There's also the Dudes in Hyperspace. hosted right here on this channel is the Future Books podcast, hosted by Randy Willis. He is amazing. This month was about the Valkyries initiative. You should listen to it. It was great. And so every month he does a preview of what's coming up for CKP. So it's pretty great. I really enjoy the Joelle Club that's happening here. And also,
you are now honorary Joelles.
You know there will be honored now. I'm Joelle.
Y'all just give in to it. I, for one, welcome our new Joelle overlords. So
our new over Joelles.
Over Joelle. Joelle lords. I don't know. Pretty good.
We will be generous.
I would like to
real wisely.
Yes. I believe it. I'd like the record to show that we made it an hour and 16 minutes before it just descended into
Mad
Joelle shenanigans. Yeah, we did great, guys. We did great.
For the record, this one was not my fault. It was not my fault.
No, I'm actually going to blame this one on Andy. So I think this. We were doing great, guys, and then this is great though. So we got a lot of Cajuns in the chat tonight. So Matt, very excited. They're very excited about Cajun stories. Darren Kennedy, who I also got to meet for the first time at Dragon Con last week. Awesome work. Thank you, Darren. You're a rock star.
There's an awful lot of Kennedys floating around. I'm just gonna say.
Are you going to take on the Joelle Collective? Is that what you're saying?
Ooh, Joelles versus Kennedys.
Oh, do we have them beat?
Cloning.
We have them so beat.
Just so everybody knows, that's my married name, so that's why I get to make Kennedy jokes.
Okay. We got it. Just as we all go bravely into our new world of Joelles versus Kennedys, chocolate is the answer. So I like ending on this note. If you also like shenanigans and you're watching this later, thank you. If you're watching this now, thank you. We hope that you pick up the Valkyries initiative and you love it. Let us know if any of our characters are like real people in real life. They aren't. Let us know which character will soon become a Joelle. We would like to know. Thank you all so much for joining us. That is all we have. As you can see, we are descending into madness on this Friday night. But we appreciate you. Yes, we appreciate you joining us. So thank you so much. Have a great night. Jeremy, play us off.
Like the video. Bye, guys.
Yes.